In this video, I am going to explain how to write Verilog code for full subtractor using structural level of abstraction. So before going to that, let me briefly explain how the full subtractor would be and what is its functionality. So if you look here, this is how the full subtractor circuit would be. These three are like input terminals A, B and borrow in. Borrow in can be assumed as borrow out of previous stage. So irrespective of those, you just assume as three inputs, and difference and borrow out would be my output. So the entire circuit would lie in this. Now if you look at the structure of this full subtractor, this is somewhat like this. This can be obtained from this truth table, that is the possible combinations. If there are three inputs, then there are 2 cube. So 8 possible combinations. They are from 0, 0, 0 to 1, 1, 1. Now if you subtract 0 minus 0, that is you should follow this procedure. First you have to do A minus B, then from that result you again subtract borrow in. Okay. Now 0 minus 0 would result in 0 and no borrow is required for this operation. So borrow out also would be 0. Now from that result you again subtract 0. So it would be 0, 0. Now let me take one typical example so that all you can do on your own. Let me take this example, okay, 0, 0, 1. So first you perform for 0, 0. So 0 minus 0 is 0 and borrow out is not required. Now with this result, you again perform for B in, 0 minus B in. So to do this, you have to get one carry. So borrow out, you should get one borrow. So if you get this, this will be 1, 0 means 2. So 2 minus 1 would be 1. This is your D and you have taken one borrow. So this also will be 1. So you will get 1 and 1 like that. Similarly, you can do for any other things. Here if you see 1 minus 0 is 1, again 1 minus 1 is 0. So in this case you didn't require any borrow, so it is 0, 0. So in that manner you can solve entire truth table on your own. Now after solving the truth table, you have to write the K-map equations for difference and borrow. K-map equations for difference and borrow. For difference, you will get A XOR B XOR B in. And similarly, if you write the same K-map equation for borrow out, in simplest manner to write this is how, by using, like, why I wrote like this means you may get different equation but functionality would remain same. But in the latter stages of our latter tutorials, we will write the code for full subtractor using instantiation of half subtractors. Now if you look here, this part can be modeled as a half subtractor and this part can be modeled as a half subtractor. Now using instantiation, if you know the code for half subtractor, then you can write for full subtractor. So that is the reason why I took this part as carry, borrow out. Okay, not carry, borrow out. Okay, now with all this knowledge, now we are ready to write the code on our own. So here you can see there are different gates. As this is structural level of abstraction, you should write the Verilog code for each and every structure and each and every gate that is present in the circuit. Now I labeled these for your convenience. Now you can see the input and output would be again A, B and borrow in, and my output is difference and borrow out. Instead of writing two other statements, directly in the braces of module itself, I wrote about input and output. Now the intermediate interconnects can be modeled as a wire, or without writing the statement also you will get the output, because by default the interconnects will be taken as wire in Verilog coding. Okay, but it's good to always write interconnects using this wire. Now you can see here the gates are same like the diagram, that is the XOR operation of A and B. A XOR B, the output is labeled as V1 and the complement of this is labeled as V bar in the code I am saying, and the complement of A is labeled as A bar. Now after performing this operation, that is A bar and B, it is labeled as V2. So it is A bar and B, it is labeled as V2, and negation of A XOR B, A XOR B ended with borrow in is labeled as V3. So these are the different labels that I used for writing structural level of abstraction. After looking at the code, you can correlate these two things. Now let me focus on the code. Now you can see here all the gates are instantiated because these are primitives. You will have one output and any number of inputs can be given, but for NOT gate it's enough to complement A. So A bar is my result. And similarly V1 you want complement, right? So I have given it to NOT gate. So for XOR AB, A XOR B will be assigned to V1, and the XOR operation of this V1 and borrow in will be assigned to the difference. And similarly, the AND operation of these two is assigned to V2, and AND operation of these two will be assigned to V3. Finally, the results of those two should be given to an OR gate. You can see here final OR gate, right? So now this is the code for full subtractor using structural level of abstraction. Now, as we go on designing larger circuits, now you can feel the difficulty of structural level of abstraction. It is necessary to write about each and every gate, which is quite difficult if you go still bigger circuits. So that's why we will usually get habituated to write Verilog code in data flow level of abstraction or behavior level of abstraction. But to get optimized circuit or the best circuit, because in this structural level you are designing on your own about each and every gate. That means you have idea about each and every gate thoroughly. So this is if you want any power optimizations, all these things, then you can prefer this. But usually for easy purpose, you should always habituate to write the Verilog code in either behavioral level of abstraction or data flow level of abstraction. Now let me check the syntax of this code once again. So it's loading. Okay, there are some syntactical errors. Let me check those things. Okay, here I have given one comma extra, so let me remove that. Okay, let me save once again. Let me check the syntax. Okay, now it's fine. Now for synthesizing this circuit, you also have to write a test bench for this, which is giving all possible input combinations. So now, so far in the previous videos, I have wrote the text bench by directly giving the combinations, right? As they are like half subtractor and half adder, directly you can give all the 4 possible combination of inputs, that is 0 0, 0 1, 1 0, 1 1. But as number of input combinations increases, like for example here there are 3 bits, right? That means the combinations would be from 0 0 0 to 1 1 1. It's very difficult to always write such a huge number of test cases if you directly give the values. So for that I will tell you one trick. So let me erase these things. 1 second. Okay, now let me tell you one thing, that is, if you look here for B in, alternately there is a switching from 0 to 1. See, 0 to 1, again 1 to 0, so 0 to 1, 1 to 0, like that. Whereas if you observe B, for every 2 steps it is changing from 0 to 1 and remaining in 1, again changing to 0, like that. If you observe A, again it is changing for 4 steps. Okay, this will continue. So that ideology I made to write the test bench in a simple manner. Now after 4 seconds, the MSB bit should change for after 4 time steps. It should get incremented by 1. So if it is 0, then it will become 1, and if it is 1, it will 1 plus 1 will result to some 0, right? So it will become 0. So it will switch for every 4 time units, and similarly the middle bit B will switch for every 2 units, and the LSB bit will switch for every 1 time unit. So let me see how the waveform would be. Let me check the syntax. So this is one such good way of writing test bench. As number of input combinations increases, this technique will give you will come into handy. So let me check the behavioral. Here I didn't wrote that $monitor statement, so you cannot see the output combinations in the console window. I explained that in the tutorial 10. You please watch that if you haven't seen. Tutorial 9, I guess. Sorry, this is tutorial 10, right? So let me show you the waveform. Okay. For D, we got tri-state, that high impedance value. So let us sort out that thing, why it happened. But you check these things. Okay, this is how you can get all different combinations for A, B, B naught or B in. Let us check why it's happened in the difference. Okay, let me get back to the code once again. Implementation. Okay, here the difference output is taken at where it's taken. Okay, here I missed the comma, so I think I didn't got. Okay, let me place this. Even though it is syntactically correct, but we will not get the output. So let me verify this again. Okay, let me close this, the older simulation, and let us get the new simulation. Let's check what will happen. Okay, see, committing errors will make you to learn the mistakes that you're making, so that you will be careful in writing the Verilog codes next time. Okay, so I'm not checking them before, just I'm writing the code and checking the results along with you. Now it's fine. Okay, now you can see all the possible input combinations and you can verify with the truth table. If it's all 000, then difference is 0, borrow is 0. Let me check some random thing, that is, see, 10100. So let me get to the truth table. So 100. So the difference should be 1 and the borrow should be 0. See the waveform. The difference should be 1, the borrow should be 0. You can see here, right? Zoom these values. You can look here. Okay. So this is how you can check for different values, and it will show up to 20 nanoseconds, and then it will finish its execution. Similarly, you can check for RTL schematic as well as technology schematic, which is very important to look into how the structure would be and all those things. Okay, let us also check how the RTL schematic of this full subtractor using structural level of abstraction, how the synthesizer will simulate these things. Okay, so this is how it would be. Now we can see here clearly in half subtractor we got a similar block like this, right? So this block, see, I'm highlighting with red portion. So this block, we such type of block we got in half subtractor. Now such type of two blocks are there, which means using two half subtractors and one OR gate, we can write this, we can design a full subtractor. So that is the background meaning of this RTL schematic. And the same thing can be done using instantiation, which is the background idea of writing code using instantiation of half subtractors. So those all we are going to see in the coming tutorials. So if you want, you can practice them. And similarly here you can see as this is targeting to the FPGA family, you can find the lookup tables here. So this is FPGA implementation, which is called as technology schematic. Okay, so if you are thinking why lookup tables are generated in FPGA, you have to check the construction of FPGA board, how it would be, and then you can how the functioning of lookup tables, or how the lookup tables, what are SRAMs and all will be present in the lookup table. So those all we can make one more video. If you want, you can mention in the comment section. So for time being, you just remember that lookup tables will be used in FPGA implementation. So that is why if you want to look at technology schematic, you will end up seeing these lookup tables. That's all for this video. See you in the next one.